Next, we're gonna do 10-second high knees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're gonna do 10 seconds booty kicks. 1,
butt kicks.
2, yes, that's correct. 3,
I like
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, now we're gonna do 10-second or 10 lunges with both feet. So 5 on each side. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're gonna do, I think I'll do, okay. Side shuffles, 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, now the last two things we're gonna do is 10-second arm circles. 1,
So
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now backwards, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now 10-second alternating arm hugs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, that was the basketball warm-ups for us.
Awesome. You did a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Hey, Ervin Johnson, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
We're so happy that you're here, former NBA Nuggets player and Nuggets alumni. I know that David wanted to ask a few questions, and then we'll probably open it up, just a few questions from the group. I don't know if we have Mark on the call just yet, but when he jumps on, we'll have him jump into the mix. But David, if you'd like to go ahead and start.
All right. So in your lifetime, Ervin, was there a coach that deeply impacted you on your journey to becoming a successful professional player?
Yes, I would say Tim Floyd, the coach that gave me my first start in basketball. I didn't play basketball in high school, and he was my first coach for his basketball, and he changed my life. He believed in me. He gave me that opportunity that changed everything for me. He taught me everything about the game of basketball. But I had other great coaches after that, but I would put him number one, had the most impact on me.
What he can do.
What made this coach stand out?
Number one, he knew my background for as not playing basketball. He was very patient. He taught me the game from start to finish. He never allowed me to pick up bad habits. He pushed me, he encouraged me, and he was there every step of the way on my journey.
How did they motivate you and help you develop as a player?
Say it one more time.
How did he help motivate you and help you develop as a player?
Okay, for him, he just knew what buttons to push for me. I don't know how he knew it, but he just knew what buttons to push to get me to play at a higher level and to play the way that I needed to play every night, night in and night out.
Okay, so how does the relationship between teammates affect the game on the court?
It's great to have good chemistry and good teammates, and not only on the court but off the court, talking about the game, the strategy, the X and the O's, and so when you get on the court, it's to be a lot easier for you to play with each other. Sometimes you're not going to always agree, but it's all about just respecting each other and just encouraging each other to try to be the best player possible and have one goal in mind, and that's to win as many games as possible.
What can a coach do to promote a cohesive team relationship between the teammates both on and off the court?
Sometimes doing things off the court is just as important doing things on the court. Just that bonding time. I remember coaches, we went out to dinner, we went bowling, we went to the movies as teammates and coaching staff. And that bonding time pays off a lot on the court.
We all know that becoming a professional basketball player requires years of hard work, dedication, and commitment. How did you overcome challenges to reach the level of success that you have achieved?
Number one, I knew that I was going to face some adversity at some point in time, and it's all about just believing in yourself. Sometimes it can be injuries, sometimes it can be things outside of personal reason. You're going through ups and downs, and that affect you on the court. You're going to have, adversity. You just got to fight your way through it. Take one day at a time, one step at a time. Never lose the confidence through that frustration or that adversity that you're facing.
Do you have any advice for our coaches to share with athletes who are struggling in the area of motivation, especially given the current circumstances?
Yes, sometimes different circumstances, situation occurs that is out of our hands, but sometimes you just got to encourage your students and your players to try to find that enjoyment, that excitement, in whatever you're trying to accomplish and play. Every coach should, I think I encourage, when I became a coach, I encouraged my other coaches that was around me, get to know your players and what motivate them and try to make it fun and exciting for each player.
Yeah, thank you very much. And the circumstances I was gonna say about is just what's going on with COVID. That's also what I was
with COVID, that's a tough situation. Nobody asked for COVID to come on the scene, but we just all have been effective in some type of way. But we just have to try to make the best of it. I know wearing masks and all of that's trying to stay 6 feet apart. That is not, typical thing we used to, but we just got to try to find the best in it and just learn from it. Because before long, it'll be all passed over and nobody be talking about it, and we move on to our normal life.
Okay, thank you very much. Here's one quick question for you, just out of my question actually, is were you a big Kobe Bryant fan?
I was a big, huge Kobe Bryant fan, played against him for many years. It was just sad, but it's a year ago that this happened. And I just feel for his wife and his kids. He was a fierce competitor, always having a willing to win and make his teammates around him better.
I was a very big Kobe Bryant fan as well, and I was actually working the Nuggets game with Argus when we heard about his passing last year.
So how did you feel? How did it affect you after you heard about it?
It affected me, but I can say that it affected me more because my boss, whose name's Sonia, that works the Nuggets with me, she was a big Kobe fan, so I kind of was helping her out with her emotions after he passed. And one of my coworkers came up to me and said, "Did this really happen?" And I didn't really know what she was talking about because I didn't hear the news quite yet.
I remember that I was at the YMCA when I was training some young kids, and my phone was just blowing up. My kids was texting me back and forth, and I would have said, "What's going on?" And I read their text, and I couldn't believe it. And I had to go on, social media and ESPN, app to find out if it was true. And it was just sad because he had a great career and he was doing something that he loved and teaching his daughter the game of basketball and spending time with her. So it was heartbreaking to hear that news.
And I will say one other thing about his family that I was watching on one of my TV shows is that they're saying don't mourn his loss, from a year ago, do you actually remember him as a great player?
That's good advice and good, whoever said it or whatever it was awesome by encouraging people to look at it in a positive way.
Thank you very much, Ervin Johnson.
Thank you.
I want to open it up if anybody else has a question for Ervin.
Yes, Ervin, I have a question.
Yes.
What drove you to start your basketball career?
Number one, I had two older sisters that played basketball before, and I watching them play for many years and took a more liking into it. It's a fun sport, it's a fast sport, and it takes skills and practice and focus to be able to do it at a high level. And I'm just so grateful that I was able to play at a high level and learn the fundamentals of the game of basketball. And then that camaraderie, that connecting with your teammates and your coaching staff and learning something from them as well is a great honor as well. Good question.
And do you have any other goals that you're trying to accomplish in your basketball career? Moving on.
No other personal goals for me personally. The only thing that I want to do, because I coach and do skill work with a lot of kids, is try to help them reach their goals. That's one. If you want to call that a goal, that's a goal. I want to try to help them become the best player they possibly could be, for as on the court and off the court.
Nice.
Did you say you didn't play in high school?
Did not play in high school.
So what was that like going from just probably playing, like street ball to actually having to play in that structured team sense?
Actually, that's a very good question. Playing pickup ball in the backyard or at the park with your friends and family members is totally different than organized basketball. You got to learn to play together. You got to learn plays. You got to learn the skills. And, it's totally a different game. And that's why I'm so grateful for Tim Floyd, my coach that gave me the scholarship at the University of New Orleans. He was very patient with me, and he taught me all the fundamentals of the game of basketball and how to play it the right way. Very good question. But I want to say to all the athletes, congratulations, keep working hard, enjoy every moment of the game, whatever sport you're playing. I know we're talking about basketball, try different other sports, always be coachable, just try to encourage your teammate, be a good teammate, all of that, but just enjoy every moment of it. There's so many people out there don't get a chance to do something that they love to do. So just enjoy that and embrace it, and try to be the best person and the best player that you possibly could be.
That's great advice.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
All right.
We're going to slide into Special Olympics Colorado and the goal of this training tonight. So the objective for tonight is just to really discuss a variety of ways for us, our teams, our coaches, our athletes to remain connected, to remain active and engaged, whether you're in person, modified in person, virtual, socially distant. We want to make sure that you guys have the resources that you need and that you know where you can find them through Special Olympics Colorado, through our website and various other places. So we're going to do that through 3 topics tonight. We're going to talk about virtual team check-ins, and then some common tips for staying connected and engaged, whether that be via email, via text, via Zooms. We're going to talk about SoCo virtual basketball practices, and Susan's going to walk us through some of the how-to video demos that we have and some of the resources that we have available. And that's going to include our NBA Cares basketball resources and our virtual training library. So without further ado, we're going to get started here. I am going to, let me see if I can launch this poll real quickly. Bear with me for just a second here. I'm going to launch this poll. Go ahead and take a second to answer that about your team communication process.
Mine wasn't on there.
Oh, what is yours? Now I'm curious.
So we use Team App.
I might have you chime in and talk about that here in a minute.
Yeah, okay.
I would love to hear about some of the resources that you guys use. Maybe share those with some other teams. Let's see, can you guys see the results? So it looks like the majority of people use email. We have a few that do group text, so I will definitely be interested. I think that might just be you, Karen, but I'm going to be interested in hearing a little bit more about that. It looks like team Facebook page. There may be one or two that have a team Facebook page, and then a few that have a newsletter. Everyone else is a combination of the above. Let me go back into our presentation here. So I guess I should ask, just by a showing of hands, how many of you guys are actively using Zoom currently to connect with teams? A few, perfect. So we're gonna start on this slide with just a few ways to connect that do not include Zoom. So if you guys are not the type that want to get on Zoom with your teams or find it difficult to connect with your teams via Zoom, these are some ways to stay connected, whether it's, again, via email, via text messages, or via whatever that mainstream communication source is that you have. So one way to do that, and I know a lot of you are familiar with our training library and our virtual workouts, but you would send out a virtual workout to your team. So we have on our website a tab of virtual workouts. It's a library, and it contains all different sports specific drills and then seasonal workouts. So if you're ever wondering what that might look like, if you're looking for a way to engage your athletes through a workout, that's a really great resource. I'll be sure to send this out to you guys afterwards so that you'll have the hyperlinks and you'll be able to easily find that on our website. Similarly, on the same thread, send out drills via email. So if you want to create your own drills and video yourself, I'm sure athletes appreciate that, but really you just want to send them an example of what you'd like athletes to complete. So an example here is that everyone does 50 left-handed layups. Who doesn't love a good left-handed layup, right? So those that don't have a hoop or a ball can practice the footwork. Obviously, we've been giving out a lot of basketball kits and cones this year, so there's lots of ways to utilize those as tools and resources. But really, you're sending that out just with the goal of having 100% participation or even 50% participation with your athletes. So it's kind of a fun back and forth. As a coach, you send a drill, a video of yourself, and then the athlete returns a video of themselves completing that drill. That's kind of a fun way just to stay engaged, whether it's a one-to-one email or whether it's your email to the entire team. If you have a Facebook page, it's a great place to post the videos that you guys are recording. Another similar topic, send out a skill for athletes to compete. So same thing, ask them to record themselves or have someone record them and send the video back. As a coach, you can provide feedback on that and kind of go back and forth in that way. This is a fun one. Ask everyone to watch the same YouTube clip. So pick a YouTube clip, a sports related movie, something that you think everybody will enjoy. Everybody loves the 1996 Bulls team, right? So that's a great video to send out in an email and then to meet via Zoom, or if you're meeting in person, and just kind of discuss what everybody noticed about the video, what everybody loved about it, took away from it, and what they noticed about the teamwork. Another suggestion for staying engaged is to encourage your athletes to register for one of our 6-week wellness challenges. I know some of you guys are probably familiar with these. It's a great way to provide free resources to your athletes, athletes who may not know that the virtual wellness series is going on. For those of you that aren't familiar with it, every 6 weeks, we change the theme. And so at the end of 2020, we were hosting what's called the Strong Minds Retreat. And that was geared towards giving athletes, I'm not sure why my screen isn't sharing, sorry about that. Giving athletes the ability to really work through stress, manage anxiety, and along with that, we provided a kit. So it was a kit with a stress ball, with a journal, with a variety of tools that they could use to really minimize that stress in their lives. These incentive kits typically go out at the beginning of every challenge. Right now, we're in the middle of our new year, new you. So that's with a focus on setting goals and achieving them. Not sure if we have any kits left for this one, but we'll be, again, changing that theme every 6 weeks. The picture that you see here is just an example of some of the items that were included. So really great things to keep people motivated and help them achieve their goals. Throughout each 6-week challenge, it's our commitment to our athletes to provide daily content, to provide resources, to provide classes and guided activities to support them in achieving those goals. So even though everyone is going to have a different goal, some of them might be fitness related, some of them might be sports related. Whatever the goal is, all of these activities are going to be geared towards achieving the goals that are set. And then on to Zoom. So if you guys do utilize Zoom or are interested in utilizing Zoom, we can provide a fact sheet just about with instructions of how to log in, something that you can share with your teams, something that's very accessible for everyone. One great suggestion is to hold a virtual practice demonstrating drills on Zoom. And Susan will touch in a little bit on some of the video drills that we have. So you could use those as an example. You could screen share, you could watch videos together. But that's one great way to host a practice that's socially distanced and safe in a virtual environment. Another idea is to create competition between individual players or divide the team into 2 halves. So see how many athletes can complete layups, how many layups they can complete in 1 minute, or divide your team into 2 halves and see which group can complete the most. Another great idea is to host a Zoom meeting. If you know someone in the community that you think would be a great motivational speaker, maybe you know somebody in the community that leads yoga classes or that teaches karate, and you think that would be something that would get your athletes up and moving. Something that coaches would enjoy doing with their athletes. That's a fun way to kind of engage your entire team via Zoom. And then moving on, these kind of go along with what we're doing with SoCo at Home. I don't know if you guys are all familiar with SoCo at Home, but if you go to our website, it's the main page of our website right now, and you'll see a calendar of events. So those events are going to include our Tuesday trivia, our Tuesday bingo, our Thursday trivia. It's going to include different fitness activities, a variety of things that are available throughout the week. Some of those are in conjunction with our wellness series that's going on, and others are just fun activities. We sometimes have a yoga group come on and lead yoga activities. We sometimes have staff lead different activities. So that's a great way to plug your teams in, and it's a fun link to share. I think even really just encouraging your team to join the same activity is a great idea. So if you think that you can get everybody to join in on an afternoon of bingo on a Tuesday, I think that's a fun way to get everybody together. And then of course you just have your own virtual social hour. So we've seen a lot last year. I think everybody got really creative with what they offered in terms of fun social hours via Zoom, but a few ideas would be hosting a game night. So a game of Pictionary or doing a scavenger hunt with your team, hosting a mini talent show amongst your team or a dance party. So those again are a few ways to engage. And then with that being said, I'm going to pass this over to Susan, who's going to talk about our Special Olympics Colorado basketball season and a few of the resources that we have available for you guys.
Thanks, Jenny. Sorry, I hijacked your screen for a little bit. That's why there was that little blip there. My bad. I missed it initially. So. As I think David said it best, that we're all kind of disappointed to not be having a basketball season. I don't think last year when we canceled state basketball, any of us thought we were going to be in this position still without being able to have basketball. But we know basketball is also one of our biggest sports, and we want to do what we can to support you guys and help out with COVID. So with that, I will just start out by saying thank you to each of you that are on here, that are trying to grow your basketball program. Some of you have already started virtual practices. It's more on you guys, I think, we found with our coaches, but each of you have stepped up and we're really, really excited about that. So thank you for for doing that. We really can't express how much that means to the athletes. I think you guys all know that. So we are going to be rolling out, I'm sure you're familiar, hopefully you're familiar with it, our Basketball All-Star Skills Challenge. All of what I talk about is going to be within our COVID guidelines. And that right now for our team sports is that they can practice outside in groups of 10. If you are not familiar with our COVID guidelines, please reach out to your regional managers. We do have some waivers that need to be signed and forms that need to be filled out. So if you're not familiar with those pieces, please reach out to your regional manager if you are practicing outside in that group of 10. That'd be fantastic. Athletes are able to practice on their own and submit their scores, so they don't necessarily need to be a part of the team as well. If they don't have a basketball, they can request an at-home kit, which will provide them with basketball and some cones. And this link right here will take you right to a form that you can fill out. Just a reminder, the deadline for that is Friday. So we want to make sure that we get everybody their basketballs in time for the season. The good news is I think we've given out close to 400 basketballs already this season. So I think that's pretty exciting that we've got a lot of basketballs going around. I think we might make some people, there's gonna be a lot of bouncing basketballs in houses, which hopefully we can all just put up with for the next few weeks. So I want to touch base. Are there any questions on kind of any of those pieces? And then I can hop into resources. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and click over to this link. Are you guys still able to see my screen? Yes, hopefully. Okay. This is our Basketball All-Star Challenge, All-Star Skills Challenge website. There was a lot of information, so we wanted to break it out and have its own website. So I'm just going to kind of run through this so we can cover everything that's on here. Okay. Another key piece is that it is also virtual, so that if folks aren't feeling comfortable or still at high risk, they can still compete in the safety of their home and share their scores and still be included in the competition piece. So we've just got some simple steps here. We need everyone to get their basketballs out and or request a basketball kit. We will have some training videos here on how to do each skill. We had this set up with the Nuggets, and I think the day before we were going to do the filming, they got word that kind of everything needed to be on lockdown and shut down due to COVID. So we're still working with the Nuggets to get some of these completed. But each skill itself, which I'll go through in a minute here, each skill itself will have a video, exactly how to do it and exactly how to score it. Okay. We are also, I know many of you guys are having practices. So in addition to that, we are going to have practices every Tuesday starting February 2nd. So from February 2nd to March 9th at 6 p.m., we're going to have virtual practices. We're going to have different coaches. We've got some SO college groups that are interested in that. If anyone on the call is interested in that, please go ahead and share that in the chat box or shoot me an email if you're interested in taking the lead on one of these practices. Basically, it's just the coach on the front screen. If you have some athletes on your team or partners that want to join you, we can highlight back and forth. But these we're really asking everyone to be, on their own Zoom call, on their own screen, practicing all the safety at that point. We will go ahead and I will take entry forms. So we've got entry forms right here. You'll add your team name, your region, your team name, your name. And then down here, we'll add our athlete name if you're using your athlete, if you're having athletes and partners compete. And then you'll be filling in the scores for all of these pieces. We will have a team challenge. So down here, you can go ahead and check if you want your team entered in the overall team competition. And I apologize, there is a sheet that explains exactly how to do each of these. So for example, layups, it's 5 on the right-hand side and 5 on the left-hand side. And the only thing you're tracking is how to do layups, okay? There are some where you don't need a basketball. So vertical jump, the 3/4 sprint, the 30-second jump. There's many that you don't need a basketball for as well. So if there's an athlete that doesn't have a basketball, they can still compete. Your team can do one of these skills. They can do all of them. They can do anywhere in between. If they're only into the shooting and they just want to do the around the world shooting skill, that's completely fine. They can just pick that one to do as well. Okay. You're gonna have to give me a second so I can get back to my website here. Okay. And again, those are going to be due to me. You can email them directly to me by March 12th. We are looking for pictures and videos of practices. So you can click right here to be able to upload those. We will be having a Champions Highlight Show as well to wrap up the season on March 27th. If you're not familiar with our Champions Highlight Show, I like to refer to it as Sports Center, only better because it's all about Special Olympics. So we will highlight the season. We'll announce some of our leaderboards on there. We'll have some special features on there as well. If you have not seen them, I highly recommend going to our YouTube channel and checking them out. We started them last year with our virtual summer games, and it is something that we plan to continue long after we get back into in-person competitions as well. We've got a basketball challenge timeline over here. Again, we've started, the season is February 2nd, or some of you have already started, to March 12th. If you are interested in having an inter-squad competition between your team, you can do that as well. That would be, you're just recording the scores. We can provide you guys with ribbons for that, first through fourth, or however that looks. And so that you would then be able to run kind of a mini competition within your group, making sure we're staying within those COVID guidelines. We will have an entry form on March 12th that'll be due. And then again, the Champions Highlight Show as well. I'm going to just click right over here quick to show you guys some more basketball practice information. Oops, sorry, my computer's taking a minute to get there. And this is here, this is the link for all the virtual practices. So teams can sign up for those on that link with just a little more information about that on there as well. Okay. And our entry forms are also located down here. And any of you guys that have young athletes maybe in your program, they may have already started. They're doing some additional practices as well. We do have some additional resources here. So we've got our basketball best practice guidelines, the outline form on what we will be doing. I'm going to pull this up quick just to chat through this quick. This PowerPoint will go through and tell you exactly how to do each of the skills. So I'm just going to pick the layup one to go through because I think I'm running behind on time. This is moving with and without the ball. So the athletes will start at half court, they'll dribble, and they're completed a layup, 5 on each side. Again, you're counting how many they make. So if they make 5 of them, you'll give them 6 points on that entry form. Okay. Any questions on that I can help answer that came in through the chat? And then this is the last piece. This is a score sheet that you can use. I will post this combined with the entry form to keep things a little bit easier for you. This is really just for your records. If you don't want to use this and have your own way to keep score, that's totally fine. But this goes through each score and illustrates how to do all the scorings for that as well. Okay. Oopsies, I went too far ahead. Okay, sorry. Again, virtual practices, I kind of touched base on that. I touched base on these items as well. The entry forms need to be completed and submitted to me by March 12th. I'm sorry, you'd think I'd have this figured out by now. Okay. Do you guys have any questions, like I said, or anything that came in through the chat while I was presenting? Okay. Then Jenny, I think I'll go ahead and turn it back over to you if there's nothing else.
For the information, guys, I want to send us into breakout rooms for about 10 minutes. I put the 2 questions into the chat, so you should see them there. We'll break out into 3 different groups, and then we'll come back in about 10 minutes and just share anything that we learned from each other. And then also, Karen, I'm hoping that you can share a little bit more about the app that you use for communication. Alrighty.
Actually,
kind of led the group in a way. It was kind of interesting, but that's good.
David led our breakout group.
And
Perfect.
we were just talking about I was remembering from different Zoom meetings with our athletes that we want the actual coaches to be more involved in the trivia. SoCo at home when they can. like if they're not working or if they're just at home or whatever is going on. But that's kind of what we talked about. And I don't remember what else, dude. Can you think of this stuff? I don't remember. That's all I remember, honestly.
David did a great job at giving his opinion and options for future and how to help. He led our group in how to help re-engage and redirect athletes. If you're on a Zoom call and starting to get overwhelming, and maybe some suggestions that you can have a athlete leader get involved as well and kind of help and send a breakout group. So great job, David. I'm very impressed. I appreciate you.
No problem.
And do you guys find that that's a barrier, the time that the activities are offered at SoCo at home? Afternoon is a rough time with work and school. Okay. That's good feedback. Karen, I want to make sure we bounce it over to you to talk about your communication strategies with your team.
So we utilize, let me grab it here. So I will put it on my phone here. This is the Icon Team app. And so because I represent a multiple amount of teams of all levels, so I have a home page. Okay, so with that home page, I have access to, like for example, today I posted information about the Special Olympics 2022 Summer Games. I had information about the Ford truck raffle, that kind of stuff. So that information can be posted. I have activities that can be posted for our team specifically if it's not involving a sport. It can be maybe we're just a get together, something like that. That was pre-COVID. Our team schedules. So you can select, let's see, so all of our teams are listed, and then you can hit the calendar for your particular team. And you as a member only have access to your particular team. So you would click on the team and you'd see all your schedule. So you have all of the schedules. You have options for chatting amongst each other. You can post photos. So we have our ski photos. You can do videos and photos so everybody can see all the things that are happening. So if you're, doing something yourself, you can post it for everyone to see. I have my get involved links. So I have my how to become an athlete, how to become a volunteer link. So anybody who accesses the website or the app can see that. I have
Karen, is that a free app?
Yep. And I have the Special Olympics store. So, oh wait, no, this is just the website. So I have access so that anybody can just click the website and see all the stuff about what's happening right now. Again, I have the SoCo store. And then we also have like a little, some gear that we sell regionally. So I have access to those sales as well. And then like, for example, the COVID forms. So if somebody wants to download those, they can see that, or anything that we're doing that has a form that is required.
Amazing. Can I ask you, is it Team App? Is that the name of it?
Team App, APP, yeah. And you can, like, we customized it with our little Team Yak logo, and it's got all of our teams on it.
Perfect.
And it's been a great tool. I'm learning it myself, but it's proven to be customizable to all of the different teams and all the different things that we're doing, because some teams are doing different things than others. So it keeps them informed.
Great. I'm going to look into that. And if any of you guys have other suggestions of ways that you communicate, texts that you use, I know that can be a barrier. Just the communication piece can be a barrier with our athletes right now, especially with everything that's going on. So any suggestions that you guys are willing to share, feel free to shoot them my way. I can include them in emails that go out to our coaching community. Thanks, Karen.
One thing that's also a plus is that it also gives you the option to email as well as send it in the app. So those who choose for whatever reason not to participate in the app can still get the information. So.
Perfect, that's helpful. And Susan, did you have something you wanted to share from your group real quick?
Yeah, I did type it into the chat that Special Olympics athletes can get a state park pass for $14 if you apply for the Columbine pass. So Joan's been competing with those, and it sounds like Marnie was aware of that deal as well. So just just to get out and do something different, that's a possibility. Bob, did you? And also I know we're getting past the time, but Bob, I know you mentioned you guys were going to start virtual practices. Did you guys start that? And if so, I'd love some feedback on that or input for the group if you've got some.
Yeah, we've had a couple already and a couple of in-person practices as well outside. So we've been lucky with the weather. But for virtual practices, again, I think it's best if you don't have too many on the call, because otherwise it's hard to focus on making sure that everybody's getting something out of it. The way I have it set up in my home, I have like a widescreen TV that I can put, the whole gallery on there, so I can kind of keep track of everybody. So hopefully somebody doesn't get lost. The other thing is I have assistant coaches that are helping me with everything too. So it's hard to, as you probably know, it's hard to do a Zoom meeting and do everything with a Zoom meeting and then also actually try to focus on everybody. So to have assistants that can help you with things like, just checking attendance and making sure if, that they're looking at what everybody's doing for the practices too. But then also you can't be on a Zoom call and just do drills, an hour. It just doesn't work. So there's got to be, you got to have something fun in the practice. The thing that we did last time that everybody got a kick out of is I asked everybody, what's your nickname? And if you didn't have a nickname, we came up with one, and then we put that, like, I changed everybody's name to be their nickname, and everybody had a kick, they got a kick out of that, because some of the nicknames that came up were like Shoogie Boogie and things like that. So I mean, you gotta think of ways in different ways every time, just to keep kids involved that don't even include basketball, that just keep them interested in the call. So different things like that.
Great point. And somebody submitted a question about keeping people engaged for a full hour. And I think that's hard for everyone, right? So I think the more that you can mix up the drills with something fun and funny and a game to keep things rolling, I think that's great advice. I know one drill that we did on a call that I was on recently was come up with a list of sports and then put on a fun song and basically pick out people in your group to do moves from that sport. So that's your warm up, right? So someone is swimming. So if Karen is swimming, I'm going to call on Karen and say she has swimming, and then she does the move. Then you switch to somebody else. And I had everybody laughing. So, I mean, I think that's just a fun way, 5 minutes to incorporate somewhere, to get some giggles in and to get some jitters out. But yeah. I know we're 4 minutes over. Thank you guys so much for joining.
Say something really quick, Jenny.
Sure, David. Yeah.
I remember, Karen, that our flag football team used to do team app. I'm not sure if we did it the past year, but we have done it before.
Yeah, that sounds like a great resource. I'm going to check into that. All right, guys, enjoy your dinners if you haven't already eaten them. And please let me know if you guys have not received your coach keychains. Be sure to email me and I'll get those sent out to you guys. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
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 David.
You're welcome.